Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Chee-Tash. My name is Chris, and we are down to the last chapter that we are going to do an overview of for the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. If you guys remember, I had mentioned last time that there is actually one other chapter, chapter 8, but it's all about prayers. I am going to choose to skip it. It's a very, very short chapter. Even this current chapter that we are about to go over, The New Dream, is also very, very short, but it's going to kind of tie things together. And it's going to echo some similarities of the previous video we did, the Toltec Path to Freedom. So this will be a pretty short video. We're going to get started right away by talking about what we talked about last time in the Toltec Path to Freedom. What we discussed last time was the two choices that we had to make. And I like that this is just very simple, very binary, because I don't really think there's an in between. And those two choices are you can either keep living your life as it is, or you can choose to change it. And that's really kind of it. I can't really think of any other way to do it. Now, why would you want to keep your life the way it is? With all the dream of the planet, with all the previous old agreements that you have, why would you want to do that? And we're going to touch on this in this video about how, and actually we touched on this last time too, about how we're comfortable. We get basically too comfortable. And living by the old agreements becomes the safe thing to do, even though we go through the cycle of judge, victim, punishment, and then we go through that cycle multiple times. It becomes so familiar that it's all we know. It's almost as if we're used to it. We're used to the suffering. We need something to fight against, to kind of complain about. So we choose to live by those agreements so that we can just keep on trucking, keep the whole old dream of the planet alive. So why would you want to change your life? Well, if you want to have more energy, you don't want inner conflict, you want to love yourself, that's when you would change your life. If you want those things. If you don't, it's going to be really tough to have those things if you keep your life the same in accordance with all those old agreements. And you got to fight that parasite. We've compared the old agreements and the dream of the planet to the parasite. And also we use this example of a computer virus, specifically when we talked about gossiping, back when we were discussing being impeccable with your word and not making assumptions. I believe it was actually impeccable with your word when we were talking about gossip. But you got to fight against the parasite. And there's a couple different ways to do it. There's basically you go one by one and you face each of your fears, you face down each of your old agreements. You can just stop feeding the parasite altogether, or you can do this dream of the second attention. The dream of the second intention, I forget what do we call it? The initiation of death. So the dream of the second attention is you go back through all the old agreements, or you basically live your life with this brand new realization of the old agreements, and you just decide to switch and break them and replace them. The author does kind of make it like really, really simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. So you go through, and my take on this is you kind of review your life and you essentially open up your eyes to all of the harm that the old agreements have done, and you're going to replace them with the new. And basically, you have this angel of death that's hanging over you all the time. Everybody has it. Death comes for us all. In fact, today I was just kind of freaked myself out by thinking about my own mortality. But you let the angel of death take away the things that you don't really need, so you don't have to carry them with you. We talked about last time the example. There's a great clip of this. I'm sure you can find a clip of this from the movie Up in the Air, where he's talking about the backpack and all the things that you carry with you in your backpack, and it just ends up getting heavier and heavier and weighs you down. Let the angel of death take the things that you don't need and be living in the present, basically. So that's just kind of some major bullet points of what we talked about last time. This time, we're going to talk about the new dream and heaven on earth. And the author starts out here saying that I want you to forget everything you have learned in your life. So what he's kind of saying here by starting out with this is all those old agreements, we need to forget them. We need to break them. We need to create new agreements. Break the old, replace with the new. And he says that when you do this, it gives you so much power to create. It gives you so much power to create a heaven or hell for your life. To make your life a heaven or a hell. And you need to start shifting your perspective and opening your eyes a little bit. And he talks about seeing love in everything. He talks about seeing love coming out of the trees, the skies. You perceive love from everything around you. Each time you open your eyes, you see the world around you in a different way. And he kind of gets at this thing of, if you see love in everything, then you feel at bliss. Now, I don't know if you can do this 100% of the time, every single day of the week, of the month, of the year, because I'm kind of conflicted with this, because does everything have love? And should you feel love 24/7, 365? Doesn't that just sound boring? You're going to need struggle. You're going to need some valleys, and you're going to need to overcome things. Kind of what we learned from the videos and reading Man's Search for Meaning. And what he talked about, how, why are we trying to make people happy all the time? And it's seen as a disease if we're not. But to kind of give Don Miguel Ruiz here a benefit of the doubt, I don't think he's saying you can still love what you do even if it's hard. You can still get the love out of, if you're trying to train to lose weight, you hate waking up early in the morning, right? It sucks. You hate sweating your ass off in the middle of the summer, but you love the results from it. You can appreciate the results, and you see maybe the love is coming out of your dedication to that task and to achieve a certain goal. So in that part, I could kind of see this, but if you're just looking to feel comfortable and loved in every single moment of your life, I don't think that's going to happen. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I mean, isn't that kind of what the agreements are basically there for? You don't make assumptions about you. Don't assume you're going to feel loved or it's going to be good old times every single day. Don't take it personally when it's not that. Right? You just do your best and just be impeccable with your word. It kind of all ties together here. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, sorry. The permission to be happy. Yeah, I think this was a powerful word for me here, permission. Sometimes I feel like people don't give permission, don't give themselves permission, or they wait for permission from others. It's kind of the same thing. you need permission to go to the bathroom. You're waiting for somebody to allow you to go do that. Like let's say if you were like in elementary school and stuff, you needed a hall pass to go to the bathroom. Yep, you had to ask for it, da da da. But you need to give yourself permission to be happy. You need to give yourself permission that you're not going to be perfect and you're not going to be happy all the time. So this was a powerful word for me, permission. And you have to give it to yourself. You can't hold yourself to like some high of a standard. Kind of goes back to the not taking things personally and just doing your best. You can't hold yourself to such like a high standard. You have to love yourself enough to just set yourself free. Kind of, maybe I'm getting off on a tangent here. Okay, I think loving yourself, okay, no fear of rejection. Think about that if you had a fear of rejection, or if you didn't have a fear of rejection. Because if you love yourself, you're kind of all you need now. Yeah, okay. Maybe it'd be better if you were in a relationship. If we're kind of looking at this from a relationship standpoint, if you're just getting rejected all the time, but you love yourself, hey, you still got you. And that's kind of the most important thing. At the end of the day, you're living between your two ears. You need to be comfortable in your own skin. Nobody else is going to help you do that but you. Love will put you in a state of bliss. And here's where the author says that the state of bliss is going to make you feel like you're floating on clouds. And I'm going to kind of take this, like reel this back in a little bit and say, love it will put you in a state of flow. And I think this is kind of the same thing what Don Miguel Ruiz here is talking about when you're floating on the clouds. Like, I kind of felt this way when I was rolling today with somebody at jiu-jitsu, where I didn't question any of my moves. I didn't stop and like consciously think about it, going back to with winning in mind. We're not using our conscious mind in the action, in the competition. We're just letting the subconscious mind flow and repeat those same steps that we rehearsed all those times and practice and drilled, right? And I had one roll with this one guy, my good friend Sean, and it felt really good. I was really happy. I guess, in love. I was loving that I was there, that I got the opportunity to train, and I was just flowing. It didn't really come that hard. I wasn't really working that hard, even though at the end I was like drenched in sweat, but I didn't really have to think about much. I just kind of knew exactly what to do. So I kind of compare that to this being floating on the clouds. And in addition to that, you're not going to feel as if there's a fog in your mind. That metote, I think is what we called it. Your mind is going to be clear because you know yourself. It's not going to be conflicted. You're not going to have those inner conflicts that arise from the old agreements. It's going to be free and clear to just be focused and ready to flow, basically. And the author goes on here. Moses called this the promised land. Buddha called it nirvana. Jesus called it heaven. Toltecs called it a new dream. So it's no longer the dream of the planet. Those old agreements, after you've done your auditing, you've broken all those old agreements, you've replaced them, now it's on to a new dream where you can feel the love and not have that fog in your mind. I don't know if I have. Okay, yep. Next slide here. Free yourself. and then I believe this is the last slide here. You have to free yourself. Remember from The Matrix? I think I've mentioned from The Matrix a lot because it's a good movie and it's one of my favorite movies, and I think it's very applicable to, especially in today's world. You got to free. Remember, Morpheus tells Neo, you got to free your mind. You got to free your mind. You have to free, yes, your mind, free yourself from that old dream, from those old agreements, from that parasite, right? And again, it's really only two options here: suffer or enjoy your destiny. And that choice is up to you. The choice is yours. And again, here, I think you need to have some suffering in your life, and you need to have things that you overcome and obstacles. To quote another book, there's a book by Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. I think, oh no, that's back home at my parents'. The obstacle is the way. Just keep on building and rebuilding. And I think that's how you enjoy your destiny. But when you're suffering from, see, even if you suffer from external things, I think that's okay. As long as you are true to yourself, you have that perspective of, hey, this is something that I need to overcome. Oh gosh, I'm sorry for that pop-up, guys. It's something that you need to overcome, and you're gonna feel better overcoming it, and you like the results. Again, you don't have to love the process. This really sucks getting up early. This really sucks working on this code or working on whatever job you're at, but you like the results of it. Right? So you got to free yourself. You got to free yourself. You got to give yourself permission to love. Love what you do. Love yourself. See love in other things too. And make that choice. Am I going to live how I've always lived, according to the dream of the planet, or am I going to create my own dream? And it's not going to be easy. As I've said this before, nobody said it'd be easy. Actually, that's a quote from The Matrix again, too. I didn't say it'd be easy. I didn't say it'd be easy. Remember, Morpheus tells that to Neo when they're out of the Matrix, and he says that it's essentially the robots are turning humans into a battery. And he's like, no, can't be. And Morpheus says, I didn't say it'd be easy. Guys, thank you very much. Wait, let me make sure. Yep, that was it. Guys, thank you very much if you listened this far. This was a very, very short chapter. I might do one more video on the 4 agreements, maybe just like a quick overview of it, just going over major points, talking about the 4 agreements, kind of like the basic takeaway points from the book. So I might do that, might come out next week. I've got a book in line that we're going to do next. I will try to, maybe I'll do a video announcing that. It's looking like it's going to be a book that was written by my friend on parenting. Interesting topic. We'll see. I am pretty sure we're going to do that book, and we'll talk about that later. I'll tell you guys the title and stuff. Thank you guys very much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. Like and subscribe. We got a ton of these videos. Ton of videos for other books, and we're gonna keep doing books. We're gonna keep doing books. Books are really, I like reading. I like learning about different things and topics that interest me. So We're going to keep doing this as long as we can. Thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Chris. This has been Chee-Tash. Take care.